The 2022 Masters are right around the corner, but one of golf's biggest names will not be descending on the verdant greens of Augusta National. And no, we're not talking about Tiger Woods. Rather, it's PGA legend and three-time Masters champion Phil Mickelson who has bowed out, marking his first time not competing in the tournament since 1994. Currently embroiled in controversy over derogatory comments he made about the PGA Tour and the repressive regime in Saudi Arabia, Mickelson hasn't played in a PGA event since January, and his forthcoming absence from the Masters marks the culmination of a turbulent, embarrassing year for the 51-year-old. So why won't he be out there vying for a fourth green jacket? And where does Lefty go from here? Let's break it down. Sit back, relax, and take this in. As recently as the start of the new year, Mickelson was seemingly on top of the world. The beloved veteran was just months removed from becoming the oldest player in history to win a major championship, having taken home the 2021 PGA Championship, and Mickelson headed into 2022 still ranked in the top 35 in the world. As for his resume, exceptional. To date, his 45 PGA wins are tied for the 8th most in history, while his 6 major titles are tied for the 12th most. He's also one of just 17 golfers ever to win at least 3 of the 4 major tournaments, and he was inducted into the Golf Hall of Fame back in 2012. Rather than burnish that legacy in 2022, however, Mickelson hooked it into the rough. First, while playing in the Saudi Invitational Tournament in early February, Mickelson made headlines when he called the PGA out for its quote-unquote obnoxious greed, specifically bemoaning the tour's media rights policy, saying it diverts revenue away from players. In that same interview with Golf Digest, Mickelson, who's made nearly $100 million over his 3 decades on tour, suggested he might pursue opportunities elsewhere on account of the PGA's greed. Where might he go? Well, perhaps to the soon-to-be-launched Super Golf League, a breakaway tour funded by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund that was intended to rival the PGA Tour, and had hoped to poach many of the PGA's biggest names with its large guaranteed payouts and no-cut events. Except that didn't happen. Instead, shortly after Mickelson hinted at the possibility of taking his talents to Saudi Arabia, the whole thing went haywire when controversial comments Mickelson had made about the Saudi regime and the PGA Tour months earlier were made public. Mickelson, who said he believed the conversation was off the record, acknowledged in his remarks the country's extensive history of human rights abuses, specifically invoking the murder of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi, and ultimately called the Saudis scary expletives to deal with. However, Mickelson said he was willing to look past all that and champion the Saudi-backed SGL because it represented a, quote, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reshape how the PGA Tour operates. He then proceeded to take some shots at the PGA, with a specific slap in the face to Commissioner Jay Monahan, whose tactics he characterized as manipulative and coercive. And just like that, almost immediately, Mickelson became persona non grata with the PGA, and with plenty of others in the golf world too. Mickelson was quickly dropped by a number of his corporate sponsors, including KPMG and Amstel, and even Callaway, which had sponsored Mickelson for nearly 2 decades, said it was pausing its relationship with the embattled pro. Meanwhile, Rory McIlroy, one of the tour's most decorated and respected players, skewered Mickelson for his comments, calling them naive, selfish, egotistical, and ignorant. For his part, Mickelson issued an apology statement after his comments went public, calling his remarks reckless and noting that they did not reflect his true feelings. Ultimately, though, Mickelson concluded his statement by saying that he desperately needs some time away to prioritize his loved ones and become the man he wants to be, which brings us back to the Masters. Mickelson hasn't played in a PGA event since before his first comments came out, notably missing the Players' Championship in mid-March for the first time since 2003. And if there was any speculation that he might return in time for the first major championship of the year, that notion was recently put to bed when Mickelson was placed on the list of past champions not playing on the Masters official website. Now, was that his choice? That's not entirely clear. On one hand, eligible players' names are only removed from the Masters field upon request from that player. However, according to Golfweek's Greg Dolch, Mickelson was in fact told not to come or strongly encouraged not to by Augusta officials. And now, while Mickelson did acknowledge his need to step away in his apology statement, speculation has been starting to build as to whether his hiatus is indeed voluntary or if he was in fact suspended by the PGA. For now then, we wait It's unclear when Mickelson will return to the tour, or even if he's able to end his hiatus unilaterally. What we do know for sure, though, is that he'll have to wait until at least 2023 to go for his 4th green jacket, and that his absence at Augusta reflects a genuine stain on his legacy. And before we let you go, if you're interested in rocking some of the Score gear, check out all our apparel at shop.thescore.com. You can find the link in the description. Go get yourself a hoodie, a crew neck, or a tee, and you can look as cool as I do. We'll see you next time.